shape your future. I want to just talk about 5 things. 1, planting. 2, stewardship. 3, being responsive. 4, action. And 5, issue of time. And we'll be done. And I start by asking ourselves, where do you think you are as a student here in this curve? Because every human being in this life passes through this curve. There is a time you are born, but you can be sure one day you will die. Look at your neighbor. They seem not to be believing that they will die. Ask them, are you aware that you will die? The issue that you will die is not news. It's just a fact. However, the question is, by the time you reach here, what will you have done? Or will you just be like another guy, those of us who read the Bible? There is a character in the book of Genesis chapter 5 called Methuselah. This character, the Bible mentions only 2 verses about him. Methuselah lived 969 years. He gave birth to Rabbel or somebody, then he died. That's the only thing we know about that character. In the whole of the Bible, for 969 years, will it only be said that this guy came to the University of Nairobi this year and left this year? Nothing can be traced of what you did while you are at the university. Or when we come to your that time when you have ascended to that other life. So what is your story? What will you have achieved through this path? And also secondly, I want to challenge you. There is this where we are saying adulthood, which you are already an adult. That is the climax. There are 2 possibilities. You can either come here and you can stretch your curve here and stay there for a while, or you can move there very fast because you're already there and start immediately doing what? Decelerating. So it all depends with what you do in your life. Because we are saying there is time for everything. There is a time that you are a student, but there is also a time where you will also be expected to do A, B, C, D. What are you doing now? So today is your time for planting. And we are saying that every tree that you see around, once upon a time was a seed. It started as a seed. That seed was planted, and that's where you can see a tree. Similarly, everything on the universe was once an idea. It was once a dream. It was once a vision in somebody's mind. And eventually, that person converted that idea, converted that dream or vision. They acted on it, and therefore it became the thing that you can see. Everything, including the mobile phone, which distracts you on your time on your mobile phone. That's why you don't invest most of your time on more creative things, because you are just on TikTok, on Facebook, on all that. You're not doing something very creative. It was still somebody else's idea. But may I surprise you? Look at your neighbor. Even that neighbor was an idea in somebody else's mind. And that somebody took an action, and that's how you are there, because that person acted on the idea. It is your time as a university student to generate those ideas, create those ideas. But as we shall be concluding, we will be concluding the same, just having ideas, dreams and visions without action is useless. And part of this idea generation is the issue of enhancing your knowledge, issues of research, issues of reading broadly. Some of you, the only thing you read is your syllabus, textbooks. And even those ones, those listed on your syllabus, most of the businesses that we have, they were actually startups by students right from the universities. You talk to people, some of the things I do today, even today, I still run one or two businesses. And some of them, as I have alluded to some already, I actually started them while I was still here at the University of Nairobi. Good. And you are saying, if you don't invest in an idea today, if you are not thinking about your future, what is that one idea you want to pursue in addition to your career? What is that one thing you want to pursue? You are not investing in idea generation, you are eating into your future. Itafika kesho, alafu kesho ukute hauna kitu sababu wewe ulikula kesho yako leo. So can you invest in tomorrow instead of eating your tomorrow? When you get time, I know students are always busy so they never get time. He is a lecturer, I will tell you. Students, I used to teach, I taught for 2 years, but I became tired of teaching. And one of the challenges I had with students is that they are always busy on other things other than studying. That is the nature of human beings. When you get time, you can listen to this, The Power of Ideas by Miles. It's a powerful speech on the same. Now that we are university students, you may be interested to know that nations that invest in idea generation, they do very well even economically. You can look at them, the graphs. This is the graph against their GDP. A country like Israel, which invests significantly on quite huge investments on idea generation, when you compare their GDP against the population, the size of the country, you find it at the top of all the others. And what I didn't show here, just in the interest of time, I had also done a bit of research on Africa, and you can see is the reverse because we rarely invest in idea generation. And even the research that we do here at the university. When I was doing my MBA, I did a research on corporate governance practices in listed companies. But when I read that research today, one of the questions I asked myself, what was the value of that research? Where can it be used? Where even the research we do here in our universities, most of them, and there are quite a number in our libraries, when you get time to go and read, it is just for purposes of passing an exam. It is not something that you have a passion in, that you want to pursue. May I challenge you that today you identify something, you identify an idea, start researching on it, accumulate as much knowledge and information about it, and 2-3 years down the line, when you meet in the streets of Nairobi, you share your experience. In so doing, have a vision. Where are you headed? Whether it's in terms of your career, what is your career direction? Once you set your vision, know where you are going, then align whatever else you are doing towards that. Your vision is what will determine whether when the rest of your colleagues are going to, I don't know nowadays where people go for disco and the likes, is what will determine whether that is where your vision is that aligns to where you want to be. You be like this animal or giraffe, looking right ahead, be tall, lift up your neck and see where you want to go, where you want to be 10, 30, 40, 50 years from now. Because if you don't, somehow 50 years will come, and somehow life will find you there, but you will be a victim of circumstances. But you can define your future by looking ahead and determining where you are. You see, the interesting thing with the giraffe, when it lifts up its neck, it's seeing the entire forest from very far. It's looking at the forest in total. However, once in a while, it also looks at the individual trees. It looks at the environment, not only the future where you want to be, but also your surrounding environment is very important. steward. We say the first one is about planting, and you are planting your vision, you are planting your ideas, you are planting your what? Am I talking to somebody? Huh?
Yes.
Yes. Number two is being a steward. And being a steward, we are saying everybody, including your neighbor, look at them. You are tell them you have something. So the whole concept of a steward is everybody has been entrusted with something. It doesn't matter how you think your background is and all that. There is something you are entrusted with. It may not be the same, because there are some of your colleagues here who come driving their father's Prados, while you even don't know how to ride a motorcycle. There are some, this is the one who is driving a Prado, this is the one who is privileged now, the father have a motorcycle, but some of you, even a bicycle, your parents cannot afford. Every one of us has been entrusted with something. The issue is not how much you have or you have been given. The issue is, what do you do with the little or the much that has been given to you? This guy here, these two guys here, they were given a lot according to this parable. When you get time, go read. In corporate governance, because we have agreed we are going to go and research about these issues of corporate governance. Corporate governance has a number of theories. The oldest theory is called the agency theory. The second one is called the stewardship theory. The stewardship theory is actually derived from this parable. The history of the stewardship theory in corporate governance is derived from the parable of the talents in Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30. So when you get time, go and read about it. So, but just to give us a short analysis of this issue, there was once a very rich guy, and he entrusted 3 of his servants with talents or with money. One, he gave how much? Those who have read, even if you don't read the Bible, if you are a student of corporate governance, you should know the story, because that is the genesis of it. One was given how many? 5 talents. The other one? 2. And the other one? 1. The one who was given 5 went, invested, multiplied, and brought back how many? 10. The one who was given 2 invested, multiplied, and brought back 4. So this is the response that the master gave him. He told him, well done, let's read together.
Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with the few things, and will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's promise.
Yes, he was a good and faithful steward. The exact response was given to the guy who was entrusted with 5 and brought 10. So the point is, the one who had 2 and the one who had 4, the response was exactly the same, because even though the quantity was different, but they were faithful with what was entrusted to them. Some of you are going to be waiting and saying, well, it's not from my father. So what will you do about your father? What will you do about your mother who divorced your father? You keep on blaming your father, your mother. There is nothing you can do about the past. However, there is something you have. What have you done with what you have? Because we have said, according to Ezekiel 2, and now you are the background. So we are saying that the exact response was given to these 2 characters because they did the right thing of investing and multiplying. So stewardship is about multiplication. You are expected to multiply. You are expected to maximize whatever that has been entrusted to you. The time that you have, how are you maximizing it? It is about exploitation of potential, because again, potential is useless unless you utilize it. Unless we are told in Kenya we have some oils. Where? Is it in Karanja? But has it been helping us? Until that time when we exploit it, is when it will be of essence to us. We have countries like Congo, DRC, who we are told are very rich with minerals, but they are also the poorest in the world. That is just potential, which has not been utilized. So stewardship is the exploitation of that potential, put it into meaningful use. You remember in your physics, you learned something called potential energy and kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is energy in motion. You have started working on something. It's about being fruitful. It's increasing whatever you have. And is taking charge both of your life, of your future, of your profession. Like now they interest you to become a governance expert, not only for purposes of putting bread on your table, but we want to recruit you to be in this army of changing this nation. Because what is in this nation is only one thing, called governance. So we want to recruit you to this governance profession, also to help change our nation, the narrative in this nation. Can you be ambassadors of good governance practices? And governance starts with you. When you are late, we have seen the meeting starting at 9 and you are coming at 10. That is poor governance. Now, there was also this last steward. This character was given one talent. He went, hid it, kept it very well, and when the master came, he brought it just as he was given. What did the master say? Can we read together from here? You?
So you so that when I return, so take the burden of me and give me one plus for whoever has given more, we will have another. Whoever does not have, even what they have, will be taken from them. And now, those who are just working with someone
So this guy was given one talent, so this is very deep. But this guy who got a D, it's possible that you'll be an employer. You know that. Despite you are A star. What have you done with your A? You did nothing. You know, success is not you comparing yourself to somebody else. It's you comparing yourself to your potential. What would you have done but you have not done? So if you have not done anything, if your work is sleeping, I don't know, some of you sleep from bed, kama kuku, unaamka asubuhi, sijui kile saa moja, and you are very unashamed, waking up at 7. You just wake up and rush to class. How many hours are those who know how to calculate? Saa mbili mpaka saa moja. Hiyo ni masaa mangapi? 11 hours. 11 a day has how many hours? 24. So what percentage of the day have you slept? What? Half. So if God gives you 8 years in this world and you are sleeping half of the time, so you will sleep 40 years and only work for 40 years. So it was better, since you were born, you just sleep for 40 years, wake up at your 40th birthday, you start working. So if you are somebody like that, this master would have called you wicked, lazy, and worthless. This child here is totally dependent on the mother. This because one is a baby, but also secondly is disabled. Stewardship, you are saying as a good steward, your life is in your heart. You are a steward of your life. If you do nothing about it today, your life will eventually die tomorrow. If there is nothing you are doing about investing in your life, you are just there, seated, because you admitted at the University of Nairobi, yet there is nothing you are doing, you have no future. Number 3 is being responsive. Look at the environment around you and respond to it. You need to be responsive to the environment. Charles Darwin says, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. You need to realize what is happening. The panelist here told you you need to be aware of what are the current issues happening. Issues of ESG. Ask your neighbor, what is ESG? Do they have an idea? What is AI? What is what will AI, some of you, if you are doing BCom or you are doing law, what is the implication of AI on the career that you are doing? So how do you station yourself to be more relevant to the environment? I will not talk about that. But also lastly, finally, is the power of now, time. You don't have all the time in the world. So as you say you are actioning now. You need to take the action now. Don't go into the issue of procrastination, that I'll do this tomorrow. Anything that you can do today, anything that you can do now, do now. Don't wait for tomorrow. We have talked to you today a lot about the CS course. There is a good verse that is there in my CV, in my resume. Since I left campus, this has permanently remained there. And it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. Not just do because even when you get employed, not just because of the salary that you get, but work at it with all your heart. A good one also is number your days. Know that you are not in this university forever. Before you were, there were other people. The seat you are seated on, I sat on it. I'm no longer seated there. So whatever you need to do it now. But also the other truth, as we started by saying, even in life, you are not in this life forever. Again, I'm not prophesying, but I'm almost sure in the next 50 years, quite a number of us who are seated here will not be in this world. It's a part of life. So whatever you are doing, do it now. Number your time, number your days in whatever you are doing, and live like a wise person. Take advantage of the opportunities, because the university offers you quite a number of opportunities. Look at how you take advantages of them. Attend workshops like this, network. This is a golden opportunity for you to network some of those networks. So the guy you are seated next to, you don't know whether he will be the Prime Minister. If we will amend the Constitution to be the position of our Prime Minister, he could be the Prime Minister in the next 15 years. But also, when you get such opportunities where you are getting people who are already working, use those networks. Somebody, Dr. Mukuma, illustrated to you the power of trust. There is something that comes with people that you already know, and the rest is you unlock your potential. As Denison, over to you.